Okay. Why will that be? Because Pedialyte prevents hangovers. You know, Pedialyte, tequila, great. Perfect compensation. Do you know that if you crush 8 tablets of aspirin, and after you, if you are a swimmer, who here is a swimmer? No one. Well, we've been swimmers here when we flooded this pool, but that's right. If you're a professional swimmer, the chlorine will actually turn your hair green or brown. But if you crush and you make a paste with aspirins and you put it on your hair, it will take away the chlorine. Did you know that? You put aspirin in a bouquet of flowers, the flowers will last precious for a longer period of time. Okay? It's great for stains as well to prevent heart stroke. Wow. Next, please. Now, the experiences like IKEA, like iTunes, like the car wash, must be orchestrated. Because it's not about one product. It's about creating the whole consumer experience. And you cannot, as a company, be great and be the best at every single step of the experience. That's why Procter & Gamble is creating this new franchise. That's why Procter & Gamble actually is associating with a company that builds this machinery, okay? And it's associated with another company that actually will provide the experience of the food and drinks kind of infrastructure. They are the maestro of the orchestra. They operate within the logic not of a value chain, but of a network of firms connected all together. And Procter & Gamble and Apple, they both are the nodes of this network of value. And they don't operate within their organizations. They actually defy the borders and the boundaries of their companies by connecting. Not by depending, but by being interdependent. Okay? So interesting enough, when you create an experience, you simplify the experience to the public, but you make it more complex inside. So instead of being an egocentric corporation, that everything is around yourself, you become an allocentric corporation where everything is around the network of solution providers. There are some examples that we're going to talk about this, which we can go through it. But actually, this very notion of innovation, it comes with the theory of natural selection of Darwin. Variation, selection, retention, and variation, selection, diffusion, and replication, which is the notion of variation is very critical for innovation. Whenever companies start standardizing, okay, doing things more efficient, they're just killing innovation. It's interesting, this policy about making things, good or great the first time. This is the essence of quality, right? Doing everything great at the first time. I know, I'm running out of time. I need to go, but just give me 2 minutes more. But how can you innovate if you cannot fail? Impossible. But the problem here is that we've been raised since we were children under the notion that making mistakes is bad. And if you make a mistake, you're going to be punished. In innovating companies, if you don't make mistakes, you are punished. That's why Samsung, rewards the best mistake by giving that person a trip to have dinner with the CEO. And what's an intelligent mistake? It's one that makes you learn something very important about your product, your market, or your experience, and one that will let the company make quantum leaps forward from learning new things. You know, innovation is about failing forward. You know. Next. So what to do now? 4 ideas. Okay? Do not compete. Second idea, break the rules. Third idea, you're going to kill me for this. Don't listen to the customers. What, Miguel, you're crazy. Come on. What? You're crazy, man. You're smoking grass. Marijuana, amigo. And you have to compete on uniqueness with value. So I'm going to go through each one of them very fast. You should not compete. When you compete, it means that you're playing the same game with the same rules, okay? And you're falling into the trap of sameness. Now, will you dare to compete against Starbucks? Well, it's a company that sells about $7-8 billion a year, a cafeteria. But there are some other companies that have dared to do that by being different. Like the Coffee Beans and Tea Leaves that is competing, it's not competing, it's actually being differentiated against Starbucks by betting on variety, which Starbucks won't ever be able to deliver. 250 different varieties. Or what about Costa Coffee, which is operating in countries like India, like Pakistan, like Turkey, where the coffee experience is completely different than in the Western world. What about Green Mountain, which offers coffee that is actually ecological? And 50% of the profits will go to green causes, and it's not a B2C, but it's a business-to-business organization. What about Peet's Coffee, which sells the most gourmet coffee in America, and is the most expensive one, even more expensive than Starbucks? And they just have 250 different branches. Or Caribou Coffee, which is a kind of Louis Vuitton. You know, they just have cafeterias in the prime ski resorts in the United States. Interesting thing, they all are companies like they are small compared to the Starbucks. They just sell between $250 and $300 million. I'd like to have a small company like this. Now, you should not actually follow the rules or play the game. Just you have to create your own game. Look, guys, I really think you should take a look at these 3 different companies. Zipcar. Imagine a company that is completely oriented to rent cars to young drivers. Young drivers, the ones that the classic companies actually despise and reject. No, they focus on students. They are internet-based. You can rent a car without having interaction with human beings. Okay? They have cool cars. You can rent a Mini Cooper or a Beetle. You're young. You match your product with your market. You can rent it by the hour. And parks, the cars are parked. You know where? Outside the dormitories of students. So they took the rules of the game, of the rental industry, and they destroyed each one of them systematically. What about SOPA? Okay? They're the Match.com of banking. Okay? You go ahead in SOPA, and you have some kind of money there, maybe 5,000-6,000 pounds or dollars that you want to invest. You want to, put in the bank or, in a certain product. If you go to the bank, how much are you going to get for that money?